One's called Beauty. Beauty. When Beauty stumbled down my road, tapped at my door, I saw her from the lounge and hid. Her eyes were raw from smoke, her cheeks like dough from where she'd wept. And worse, I didn't like the company she kept. A red-faced drunk who towed a dachshund on a string. Her mouth was slack. She never said a thing. Just stood and waited. Dropped ash in my rosebed. Though as they walked away, she slowly turned her head. For all she had a face made delicate by rain, I told myself I'd never think of her again. Besides, I spent the next year drinking in the Crown. One Saturday, I rose to leave as they sat down. She wore a hat. Her eyes were brighter than before, although I didn't doubt that it was her I saw. The stale light slung across her shoulders like a shawl. Her silhouette drawn sharp against the wall. And though I grabbed my coat, I stood and stalled. I knew I had to ask what she was called. At last, she spoke. I felt my hair rise all the same. It's not the face. The pieces that we're going to perform for you tonight are local, they're Sheffield based, so it's a sort of South Yorkshire, Spain collaboration. But this one is from just over the border in Derbyshire. It's set in Lytton in the Peak District, and for anyone that knows Lytton, it used to be mills and it's now kind of apartments. So this piece is called Lytton Mill and it's set there.
And when it comes to the accompaniment, we go to one of the really important forms in the flamenco tradition. This is a flamenco form called soleá. And for any aficionados amongst you, soleá is really, it's often referred to as the mother of flamenco. It's the core form from which many of the others derive. And its themes tend to be about great loss and suffering. And in terms of accompanying the poem here, we were quite interested in exploring the idea of creating the sound of running water on the guitar. So we have lots of tremolo passages, lots of triplet passages to try and evoke that sound. So I very much hope you enjoy this.
So great loss and suffering set in the Peak District. Hold me, you said. The way a glove is held by water. Black, fingerless, we'd watched it clutch a path across the pond, never sure if it was water or wool that clung fast. The mills are plush apartments now, flanked by stiff-backed chimneys, and you ache for living voices, the clank and jostle of machinery, for something to move in this glassy pool, where once you were the water wheel, I the dull silver it must catch and release, cannot hold. Thank you. Back to Sheffield now. The next piece is set really quite close to here on Division Street, which is the title of the collection of mine that a lot of the poems tonight are drawn from.
And when it came to the accompaniment for this piece, we wanted something of a really driving rhythm. And when it comes to flamenco, the form that really has the best rhythm is the bulerías. The bulerías, it's the most fiery and gypsy sounding of all the flamenco forms. And we're going to be playing 2 bulerías for you tonight. You'll hear another one later. And the most full-blooded one is inevitably the one to close the set, but this is a more traditional style of the bulerías in the style of the great flamenco performer Diego del Gasto.
Division Street. Brought me here to break it off one muggy Tuesday. A brewing storm, the pigeons sleek with rain. A black umbrella flexed its wings. Damp-skinned, I made for the crush of bars, where couples slip white pills from tongue to tongue. Light as drizzle, your fingers through my hair, the way you nearly sneaked a little something in my blood. Clinic, they asked if I'd tattoos. I thought about the parlour with its jaundiced walls, the knit-knit wine of needle-dotting bone, and for a moment almost wished you'd left your mark, subtle as the star cover with t-shirts, the memory of rain, or your head down walk along Division Street, slower each week, pausing by the pubs, their windows so dim you see nothing but yourself reflected. Thanks. the next piece is also a Sheffield poem, and some of you may have heard it at Word Life before. I'm sure I've performed this at Word Life before. It's about the ghost of a Sheffield music hall comedian from back in the day who was famous not for being particularly funny, apparently, but because he used to go on stage wearing an outfit made entirely out of stainless steel. And he also used to speak in an unusual way, in an intoned monologue, where instead of using punctuation, he'd say it. So he'd say comma, full stop, semicolon, etc.
And when we were picking accompaniment for this, flamenco didn't quite cut it, I'm afraid. So we had to jump tradition a little bit. This is based on an Irish slip jig, which, although may not be ancestrally connected in any way with flamenco, Irish music tends to have that great bounce and rhythmic feel to it that good flamenco does as well. So in that sense, it is musically connected.
Stainless Stephen. He haunts the chippies mostly, nodding his approval at the puns. Posh place, in cod we trust. He's dressed up to the nines in stainless shoes, a plated vest, 2 spoons for a bow tie, a fork to comb his sleek black hair. He says, I'm aimless, comma, stainless, comma, semicolon, semi-conscious, ordering my chips, full stop. And when the shop lads shove him out into the cold, he knows a pub across the river where the doors will never shut, a shell between the empty works, where brambles twine around the pumps, and every glass is draped with webs. Where men stride in, still sweating from the braziers that vanished 30 years ago, and tug their collars, loosening the noose of heat. The jukebox hasn't changed its tune since 71. The landlord stands a statue at the bar. A stainless saunters in and tips his silver hat, surveys his audience, the roughed up chairs, the yawning window panes, the shabby walls that echo back each joke as if they know them off by heart. Semi-quaver, semi-frantic, Stainless croons the golden oldies, sing-alongs to Sway To, here in Sheffield, where they drink till dawn and beg for encores. No, there's no such thing as time. Thank you. Thanks. Just got one more piece to play for you this evening. All the pieces that we've done are drawn from a much longer set that is the Poeta set, so there's lots of other things. So have a look. we've just got one more piece to perform, and I mentioned at the beginning that I was really interested in the connections between rhythm in poetry, and particularly the way that I like to compose, and flamenco. And the piece we're going to do last is a poem that I wrote in my head while I was out running, so it seems quite appropriate to that.
And in terms of musical accompaniment, we're back to flamenco. And there's no better way to end a set than the bulerías, but in its more full-bodied form. This is a modern style of bulerías, and a lot of these ideas were taught to me by the great mentor Juan Martín, who incidentally is performing in Leeds at the Leeds Flamenco Festival later on in May. So if you've enjoyed the flamenco you've heard tonight, please do come to that as well. Thank you very much for inviting us.
And this piece is called Fox Miles. Supple as a dream, I can't call back. A vixen in the hedgerow's matted black is startled out to skirt the dawn and vanish with the dark. Her flame-bright tail extinguished by the railings of the park. She bolts across an empty road, keeps a pace with mine. I slow to look at her across the gap. We run in time. She turns her face. Her eyes flare in the artificial light. And then she finds a trapdoor in the night. Corridor towards the sun that she slinks down alone and covers miles she might mistake for home. And what she sees, she cannot tell. But what she knows of distances and doesn't say, I know as well. Thank you very much.